Welcome into Sports Tonight. Emily Gagnon here with Scott Pennyman. You guys, anytime Scott is here, it's a treat. So we're gonna get
Thank you.
straight to it tonight. Yeah,
I appreciate you, Emily.
All
Thank
the
you.
compliments.
Thank you.
I'm in a good mood today, so let's make it happen.
I see.
Yes, yes. Now people are gonna think I'm really not that nice. So.
She's actually extremely nice, folks. I mean, it's not,
That's nice.
don't let her downplay her own niceness. Come on, Emily.
I know. All right, Falcons fans. All right, so we got a little tease today. We're learning a little bit about the schedule, the NFL schedule coming up this season.
Yeah.
We know for the second time in 3 years that the Falcons are heading to London. And it's an early one, Scott, a really early one against the Jags, who basically live in London.
I know, it seems like they're always over there. That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Hey, but look, I love those games in Europe, man. You get up at 9:30 in the morning, and you got football. And you have football on all day. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing, honestly. I mean, I don't care who's playing. Honestly, I'm one of those NFL fans that I don't care who's playing. I don't care if it's the Lions against the whoever. It doesn't matter. Like the Lions against the Panthers. It doesn't matter.
I'm not watching that. I don't believe that.
I am
for a
watching it.
second.
It's
I'm not
NFL
watching
football.
Lions, Panthers.
But
I'm
now
not
we have a
doing
real
that.
reason to watch because the Falcons are going to be playing.
Yes. Falcons, Jags, October 10th or 1st?
Things October 1st.
October 1st.
Yeah.
9:30 for sure. 9:30 kickoff, October 1st. You've got Falcons and Jaguars. I can't say it enough. And I am especially excited about this game. Number one, the way the Jags ended their 2022 season, that was amazing. They
Yes.
got super hot there towards the end, won a playoff game against a team that should have gone much further than they did in the Chargers. But listen, Trevor Lawrence, he finally looked like he got into a groove towards the end of the year. And that's what was good. And that's what felt good about the Jags. What also felt really good about the Jags, other than Trevor Lawrence, who's from here. We got to give him a quick shout out.
Cartersville, right?
Cartersville, Georgia. The defense, okay? And I know that you're going to talk about my man Trayvon Walker because you weren't completely impressed with the number one overall pick, because you're saying number one picks should give you more production than what he gave you. But can we talk about Foye other than Trayvon? Like, Foye Lukin had the most tackles in the league for a second straight season. He's a linebacker. Most people have no clue who he is.
He's a tackling machine, man.
But I know who he is, and you know who he
That's
is, and
your guy,
everybody
yeah.
else should know who he is because he played for the Falcons for the first 2 years of his career.
Yep.
And he is a great, great dude. But I love his story because he went to Yale, and a lot of people don't realize that. So not only is he a great player on the field, he is very smart. Went to Yale, played football at Yale, and was drafted in like the 5th or 6th round by the Falcons. And he did nothing but work hard. I mean, honestly, he kept his mouth shut in the locker room. He did not get involved with much fun because he was so focused on football. And, all I remember was the fact that, I was always told he was the smartest guy on the field.
I bet.
Beyond his education at Yale, he actually knew the playbook. So for Foye, I couldn't be happier. And you said tackling machine. Yes, absolutely. When he's on your defense, you're going to get good production. So Trayvon, Foye, even Tyson Campbell from Georgia, the DB. He plays for the Jags as well. I think he was drafted in the 2nd round, if I remember.
Yeah.
A couple years ago. So there's plenty of reasons other than the fact that you just want to watch football at 9:30 on a Sunday.
And the Falcons.
To watch it. Yes, the Falcons, the home team, and then you got the Jags, who could be considered the home team too because of Trevor Lawrence and because of these former dogs and because of guys who used to play for the Falcons and the Falcons let go for no reason other than the fact that they probably couldn't pay Foye. But that's cool because it's working out for him anyways, okay? So
got his money?
Let's give him props. He was deserving of that money. I really, really want to be clear about that. And he's still very deserving of the contract that he has with the Jags. He's outplaying his contract, in my opinion. But hey, millions of dollars. It's all the same thing at the end of the day. Maybe he'll say he wants like 10, 20 more. I mean, because he's stacking them up. Mr. Yale, stack them up. But I'm excited for this game. I really, really am. And it's an early test. We will learn a lot about the Falcons early on.
I agree. Look, I mean, like for all those elements that you just named. I mean, obviously you got Foye there, who he's a tackling machine. I think he was like top 2 or 3 in the NFL in tackles last season, and he was a veteran leader on that defense that really got hot down the stretch, and they just really kind of took off and started winning games. Trevor Lawrence, he really kind of arrived last year. I mean, first part of the season, you were still kind of wondering, like, okay, number 1 overall pick, I don't really know, right? But then the second half of the season, he really came into his own and really took that Jaguars team where they needed to go. So he looks like one of the up-and-coming, rising young stars in the NFL. Trayvon Walker.
Stop. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, Scott. Give him one more season.
Look.
He had some bright moments. Some bright moments.
Okay. I mean, look, I said from the second he was drafted.
You did.
I didn't really understand, and I didn't watch, I didn't cover UJ the entire season, but from what I can see on film with Trayvon Walker, I didn't see a dominant football player, a guy that could really get to the quarterback, disrupt the quarterback at all. I think he only had a few sacks last year, maybe like 3.5 sacks last year. I never watched a Jaguars game, and I watched about 4 or 5 Jags games last season. I never watched a Jaguars game last year and really noticed Trayvon Walker being a real force for them. Like, I never watched the game and said, yep, that's why he was the number 1 overall pick. Did you see that? I don't remember too many of those moments.
It's okay. Let's give him another year.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's
have this conversation in a year. You're going to give it to him?
I just remember you saying we'll have this conversation at the end of this year, remember?
We got to let the rookie, get settled in. That rookie season is tough. What are you going to tell me the number? I know. You're going to go to the number 2 overall pick.
The number 2 guy had almost 10 sacks last year.
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson.
I led you into that.
I know. I'm just look. I get it. He was kind of learning a new position with the Jaguars, and so look, he's got to grow into what maybe he can be. But yes,
I think his ceiling is very high because even at Georgia, he wasn't going out there every down.
Yeah,
that was the beauty of his, and I want to say that it's the beauty of his body in the sense that he's not completely torn up from the floor up or whatever that saying is. He is not that because he didn't have to go out there every down.
Look, I'm just saying, if a guy is taken number 1 overall as a defensive lineman, I need to see Lawrence Taylor. I need to see Myles Garrett. I need to see a guy that can come in and disrupt the game from the standpoint
Taylor? That's where
look,
we went.
I need Lawrence Taylor.
Okay,
if you're taking number 1 overall as an outside pass rusher or as a defensive lineman, I need you to have the impact on the game like
no other.
Aaron Donald, like Lawrence Taylor, like Myles Garrett. I need you to be a difference-making defensive lineman. When you see Trayvon Walker, I think he can be a nice player one day. I just need to see him dominate. That's all.
Okay, I like that. Let's get back to that schedule. So, nice little transition there, right? All right, 8 home games for the Falcons. Good. We don't know the dates or the times, so I'm going to assume a lot of them are not in prime time. Yeah. 8 home games. Packers, Vikings, Texans, Colts, and then Commanders. Then you've got your, of course, usual Panthers, Saints, Bucks. So when I take a look at that, Packers, Vikings, Texans, Colts, Commanders, that doesn't seem too threatening in my opinion.
No, I mean, the Packers, they lost Aaron Rodgers, right? So they have Jordan Love. Who knows what kind of player he's going to be. The Vikings have always been kind of blah. So, I mean, who really knows? But, yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound like a very tough schedule at all.
And then you go to the road games, Bears, Jags, which we already talked about the Jags game. Titans, Panthers, Saints, Bucks, Cardinals, Jets. So
look, I mean, I don't see a very intimidating schedule. I mean, the Jets, they got Aaron Rodgers, right? I mean, so that could be who knows how that's going to turn out.
Go ahead.
The divisional games, I mean, there's not really none of those teams really have an established. I mean, Derek Carr, so none of those guys really have a really good quarterback. So I mean, I think those are all winnable games, right?
Well, according to whoever in the world, the data, that compiles. Yeah. According to a data system that compiles all the schedules and all of the opponents, they're saying a Falcons schedule in 2023 is the easiest when it comes to opponents. The easiest. Yes. And so, but I just want to leave you with this one thought. All right. And it's a good one.
Okay.
So their opponents posted a 119, 167 and 3 record last season. Want me to repeat that? 119.
That's terrible.
167 and 3 record last season. So that might be why the Falcons have the easiest schedule in 2023. The Falcons are going to find a way for it to be a hard schedule.
Right.
Okay, they're going to do that for us, stress us out a little bit. 2 straight seasons going 7-10. That needs to change. I'm sure Desmond Ridder is very aware of that, along with everybody else on the roster.
Yeah.
But you can only do what you can do. So let the experiment continue.
Yeah, and you never know with the NFL schedule, right? I mean, a schedule that looks easy right now, once the season starts,
you're
because
right.
it's a year-to-year thing, so we never really know. Some of these teams may be a little
Good.
better than what you expected, and they may be a little worse than what you expected. So it's really kind of hard to call a
Bryce
schedule
Young
easy.
with the Panthers taking
Yeah.
them all the way.
Hey, you never know.
Oh, that would be epic. And even like when they face the Colts with Anthony Richardson and like Matt Ryan, being the
Yeah.
backup or whatever the case may be. Like, let's just say that the Colts come here and destroy the Falcons. It's
Yeah.
like the Falcons will be staring down like somebody they could have potentially drafted, right?
sure. Yeah,
I mean, they
yeah.
could have, but they went with a running back. They could have very well traded up, down, around, done whatever to try to make this work. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that Richardson was ever on their board, but what I am saying is that what I love about it is I love looking at the players that the Falcons pass up on in the draft, and I'm sure every team does that. I mean, it's not just the Falcons here.
For sure.
But I remember when they took Vic Beasley out of Clemson
remember Vic
before even thinking about taking Todd Gurley. And this was before the Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith era, and the philosophy perhaps wasn't the same back then as it is now. Vic Beasley, though, I will say he gave the Falcons one solid season. He did. You
Yeah.
know that year that they went to the Super
He
Bowl?
got after it, yeah.
Let's not discuss that season because it's very
hard.
it hurts a lot of people's feelings. However, Vic Beasley led the league in sacks that year. So they got one good year out of Beasley, and I really liked him as a person.
Then what happened?
Quiet, kept to himself. When he hit the field, he was like a monster.
Yeah.
But after that, it was like, meh.
He just
You
quit.
can't justify that.
Yeah.
But everybody killed the Falcons for taking him instead of Todd Gurley because they passed over Todd Gurley. And,
Yeah.
obviously, Todd Gurley
UGA.
is out of the league now. He had injuries, but his first few seasons, you can't argue that he wasn't an absolute monster.
Oh, he's one of the best backs in
And he could
football.
have been an absolute monster right here in his backyard after playing at Georgia.
For sure.
The girly girls, okay? That's the shirts that girls would wear to his games. The girly girls. He could have had the girly girls here in Atlanta. The Falcons could have been all about it, but it's just hasn't been that great, Scott.
Well, he
It
came
just
here at the
hasn't.
very end of his career, though, right?
He
For like
did.
a year or so. Yeah.
Yep, and he gave Dan Quinn, who's no longer here, DQ, all of the love, saying like DQ took a chance on me. Nobody else would really come at me, and DQ did. So nothing but respect from Gurley about DQ, who, quite frankly, if you ask any player who has been around DQ, they'll tell you the same thing, and that's why it was so hard for Arthur Blank to let him go, because he was so liked by his players around the building, his coaches. DQ is the man. He really is. And from a media perspective, he was amazing to handle.
Well, maybe he'll probably be the next head coach in Dallas, right? I mean, he
You never
stayed
know.
there, and we know how that goes. That I bet that's probably the reason why he stayed there.
But
so.
sometimes you got to think, and I'm not speaking about him specific, some coaches are just better coordinators.
Right.
They really are.
Right.
And DQ is a genius of a coordinator.
Yeah.
I knew that when he was at Florida. Did you know he was at Florida?
I don't remember him in Florida ever.
Muschamp. When Muschamp was head coach,
Okay, you learn
his
something new every
defensive
day.
coordinator was Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. Hey, look, I don't profess to know everything. I had no idea. So that's cool.
And then he went to Seattle, I believe, and then he went to the Falcons, and
Oh.
now he's with the Cowboys, and he's in a great situation.
For sure.
He really is, because
Yeah.
the Cowboys' defense is pretty darn good right now.
Yeah, and I think that's why they wanted to keep him. So I think that kind of worked out well for everybody involved.
Everybody involved. You want to talk basketball now? I'm sure we talked about football a little too long for you.
I love football and basketball, but yeah, let's talk some basketball.
Let's
I love
do
both
some
of them.
hoops.
Let's go.
Warriors facing elimination tonight.
Yeah.
This is something I didn't think I'd be saying, Scott. I really didn't think I'd be saying this. I really like the Warriors entering this series, despite what Alan will tell you. Alan Devlin, who was on with me a
yeah.
couple nights ago, who is a LBJ lover. He
For
loves,
sure.
loves him. So I'm happy for Alan.
the only one.
However, for myself, it's not like I had any bets, or I didn't even say it out loud. This is my first time professing it. I really thought the Warriors were going to get it done. They have all the experience. They
Yeah.
have every reason to win. They had every reason to win this series, and here we are, and it looks like they might not be able to do it.
It's just kind of crazy when you look at how these games have gone. There's been 2 blowouts. Lakers won 1 blowout. The Warriors won the other blowout. And then there's been 2 games where it's come down late down the stretch, and the Warriors have uncharacteristically looked like a team that's kind of new to these situations with the mistakes that they've made, the turnovers that they've had, the lack of execution they've had late, the bad shots they've put up late in these games. They look like a team who's kind of new to this NBA playoff situation when in actuality they've won 4 titles. They've played in 6 NBA finals over the last 8 seasons. So I would expect them to perform better. But look, as you look ahead to tonight's game, I think that they're going to have a feeling of desperation. So I think the world kind of expects them to come out swinging tonight and expect them to win tonight. I don't know, man. I sat up here before and I told everybody I thought the Lakers were my pick to make the NBA Finals.
Seriously?
When we stood right here on this show and
you
they called
me
me crazy. No, it wasn't
I was
me and
gonna
you.
Say, I didn't
it was
remember
Brett.
that.
It was with Brett and Fred and those guys, and I said the Lakers were my pick to go to the Finals. Just
Wait,
because
so we actually have it on
we
tape
have it.
somewhere.
I promise
okay.
you we have it.
All right. But did you say they were going to win, or you just said they were going to go?
I said they were going to make the Finals.
Okay.
I wasn't sure whether they were going to win.
So
the
this
NBA
is no
title.
surprise to you. This is what you were expecting
no
the whole way through.
Yeah, because when you look at when you see LeBron James and Anthony Davis together, when those guys are on the same court together, they've had playoff success. It's just the last 2 seasons, Anthony Davis was down, LeBron had some injury issues, so we never saw the team together. So after they made those trades this year, they've been the hottest team in the NBA. So and they have championship level experience, obviously, with LeBron and Anthony Davis. So that's why they were my pick to go to the Finals.
All right, so this is no surprise to you. So tonight you're saying they win, or are we going to force, because this is a game 6?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is game 5 tonight.
This is game 5 tonight.
It's 3-1.
I'm ahead of myself. No. I thought for sure we were.
So I guess I know who you're picking then.
Yeah. I think the Warriors will get it done.
Okay.
Why not? Let's do that. Let's get there. But so you're saying Lakers in 5?
I think Lakers close it out tonight. Steve Kerr's tried to make every adjustment in the series. He started Jermichael Green at center.
He's a good dude.
Yeah. He really look. I mean, he's tried everything he could in the series. He started Jermichael Green. He started Gary Payton.
Did he ask you to start too?
He probably will if that's if he thought it was going to work. But he's tried everything in this series. And it's really, like I say, I think his team has let him down. I think his team has failed him. I think veterans like Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, who are supposed to be, that's the core of that team that has won 4 NBA championships. They're supposed to be smart veterans, but down the stretch, they haven't made smart veteran plays. Steph had a late turnover the other night. Klay took 2 pitiful shots late in that game that contributed to that loss. Draymond Green has made bad passes, bad turnovers late in those games. So, yeah, his core of guys that have helped him win 4 NBA championships has let him down, has him in this situation, and I think they go home tonight.
So whose legacy is on the line then? Are we talking about LeBron James or Steph Curry in this one? I mean, listen. For me, before you even answer, I really just want to tell you.
That's
for
cool.
me, it's LeBron James. Steph Curry's going to have more opportunities. This is not like over for him. And I'm not saying LBJ won't, but LBJ's very close to being out of here, okay? He has less years than Steph Curry, in my opinion. So whose legacy is on the line? It's LeBron James, the king. Can he find his way back to the throne? He is playing like lights out right now. Like you said, his team is as well.
Yep.
So for me, his legacy's on the line because who knows if he's going to get this close again.
True.
I mean,
for me, I'm going Steph, and this
really?
So this is why. So,
were you always going to go Steph, or are you just trying to play devil's advocate?
No,
here?
I really believe Steph, and I was thinking about this actually about 15, 20 minutes before the show started.
Right.
So, I think it's Steph mainly because I think for most fans, I think you're locked in. Most fans are locked in right now. If you feel like LeBron James is the greatest player to ever play, nothing you see in these playoffs is really going to change your mind because you'll just say, well, if they lose, he's 38 years old. He's expected to lose now. He's done enough in his career. If he wins a championship, you're going to feel like it only enhances his legacy. It gets him closer to more championships than Michael. So I think if you feel like LeBron James is the best player to ever play right now, I don't think you're coming off that stance. Likewise, if you don't feel like he's the best player to ever play, if you feel like Michael Jordan is the greatest player to ever play, I don't think you're coming off that stance because if LeBron wins this year, he'll only have 5 championship rings. Michael has 6. Michael won 6 in 13 years. LeBron is just now trying to get his 5th in 20 seasons. So I think that if you're already
Steph Curry
locked
can
into.
go back though.
But I think when you look at Steph Curry, look at this. Here's here's what he has on the line here. Right now, most people probably have Steph Curry maybe as a top 15 to 20 player of all time. If they overcome this 3-1 deficit and win an NBA championship this year.
That's a lot.
And that's a lot.
That's a lot.
But that's 5 championships for Steph Curry. Now we have to have a real discussion. Who's the best point guard of our time? Of all time, him or Magic Johnson? I think he sort of comes closer to that level. So I think when you really look at the legacy and the directions they can go from this or what they stand to benefit, I think Steph stands to benefit more from a win. However, if Golden State loses, I don't think it changes much for Steph Curry. He's about the second best point guard to ever play.
About the second. And you know what? That
there's nothing wrong with
pretty
that.
good to me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
All right, so you're saying Lakers get it done tonight and move on, and then your prediction stays very much afloat, stays reality. You're still in the right until you're in the wrong.
I think the Lakers make the finals, and look, I think they have a really good chance of winning the NBA championship. Again,
oh, now we're adding something to it. Let's make it
more than
juicy
doubling down.
and delicious.
I'm adding to it. I think the LA Lakers,
okay,
certainly if they win this series past Golden State, I think they have a good chance.
That was their toughest competition, you think?
Yeah, I think Golden State is going to be their hardest team. And
the Denver Nuggets are looking pretty good.
Denver looks impressive.
Whoa.
But the Lakers have been there and done that quality about them. They've been there. They've won championships before. So that matters a lot come playoff time. It matters a lot to experience and being in this situation. I'm just not quite sure that the Nuggets are there yet. I like what the Nuggets have. I like their roster. I love their roster. I just don't think they're quite there yet. I think the Lakers, when you look at how they've been playing, they've just been playing too good. The only thing that's probably going to derail them is another Anthony Davis injury, which we can never rule that out. So I think that's the only thing that can really derail them. If they stay healthy, I think the Lakers will be NBA champions.
Hey, Scott, I like to take hotness over experience at this time of the year, only this time of the year. So during the regular season, I like to take experience, but I like to take hot at this time of the year. And if you get hot at the right time, I keep saying it, the Hawks are the perfect example of that from 2 years ago during the Eastern Conference Finals, which you keep telling me all the time when we talk about this, like they should have never made it that far.
They should have never made it that far.
It's because they got hot. So for me, the Denver Nuggets right now are sizzling.
They are. I like Denver.
So, and I know you just said the Lakers are the hottest team in the league, and you still like them even more because they're hot and experienced. But listen, I think if we're going to go there, it's going to be the Nuggets that beat the Lakers.
Denver's really
good. But this is
good.
a conversation for another day, you know?
I mean,
Denver, let's get there first.
Denver's great. Well, I think the Lakers are getting there tonight. But we'll see.
Your dreams will come true.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. Miles, do you have your ears covered over there? One of our producers.
Big Celtics fan.
Yeah, he just
Mr. Boston over there.
Yeah, he is Mr. Boston.
Hey, Manfred Campagna.
Oh, he's even showing us a shirt right now. I'm surprised he has it on him. I mean, this is embarrassing at this point.
You might only have one more day to wear it.
I know. You better put it on right now. Put it on with pride.
Enjoy it.
So the Celtics right now are down in the series 2-3, right?
Yeah, down 3-2. Yeah.
Doc Rivers, my man. I've been a Doc Rivers fan since he coached the Orlando Magic, and that was a long time ago. That's when my love for NBA basketball started.
Yeah, like Pat Garrity and all guys.
Yes, Scott, I'm not even lying to you. My mother, my senior year, it was prom, and the Magic were in the playoffs. So my mom's trying to send me off to prom, and I'm like, Mom, you know the Magic are playing tonight.
That's funny.
I'm absolutely not going to my senior prom. And she looked at me dead in the eyes and she was like, Emily, I fear you're going to regret this one day. Mom, I'm here to look you back dead in the eyes, however many years later, because I'm not going to reveal my age, to tell you that there are no regrets. I should have absolutely been at that game. That's where I was. And I met up with my girlfriends afterwards. So I missed nothing at all. I just never put the dress on. You know what I'm saying, Scott? No regrets. None. But Doc Rivers, I've loved you since then. So 76ers, do your thing, Miles, I'm sorry. Keep it going. Joel Embiid, you're the MVP for a reason.
Yes.
But in your defense, Miles, I will say I did not think the Celtics were going to lay down like they are right now. I really expected them to keep going. I've said it quite a few times on this show. The Celtics have a chip on their shoulder because of what happened last season. I thought this was a championship team, but they're folding. They're folding. Scott?
Well,
did you go to your senior prom?
Nope. I did not go to
Not
my
because
senior
of the
prom.
playoffs, though, right?
It wasn't because of the playoffs, man. I wasn't, I kind of kept to myself back in those days. If that's, I know that's hard to imagine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Mr. Outgoing over here, guys. He walks through the newsroom and you wouldn't even know he's here. He just just shows up, pops up.
It took me a while.
Shows
to come
no
out my
emotions.
shell. Hey, look, I probably would have been like you, staying at home watching Daryl Armstrong.
No, I went to the game. Daryl Armstrong, Tracy McGrady,
Yeah,
Mike
those.
Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was my team.
Those were some good players. But no, yeah, look, the Celtics, I think they're in trouble. But one thing you have to remember here.
I think they're in trouble.
I think they're in trouble. But one thing you have to remember, last year they were down 3-2 to the Milwaukee Bucks, and they came back to win that series. They were down 3-2. They were going to Milwaukee. They won in Milwaukee, came home and got the series, right? So, I mean, So
you still believe?
I still believe in the Celtics.
Yeah.
I don't think they're dead here. I think they just need to refocus. Last night, that was just a poor effort. They didn't. There was no focus there last night. I watched that game. They trailed by a lot the entire game. I don't know what was on their minds last night. Maybe some of it has to do with their rookie coach Joe Mazzulla too. Maybe not making the adjustments, not being able to get these guys to play. But tomorrow they're going to be more focused, obviously, because they have to win or go home. I don't rule the Celtics out. I like the Celtics chance to come back. Well, obviously they're one more game down because it's 3-2 instead of 3-1. I like their chances to win this series more than I like Golden State's ability to come back because the Celtics, I don't think they're that far off. They have to get a couple things right. I just think there's a focus issue. If they focus in Game 6, I think they can beat Philly.
Doc Rivers, do your thing, do your thing. I'm sorry, Miles, I'm sorry. But, yes, I still think anything is
But look, Philly
possible.
may have more desperation, too, because James Harden being a little older and Joel Embiid's, health is always a question year after year. They may have more to play for, so I don't know. I wouldn't.
This is the beauty of the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
It can go any way.
It can go either way. You never know.
All right, Scotty, what's on your mind?
Wow, I think I let it all out here, man. That was on my mind. I love, in NBA playoffs, I just love this time of year. That's what's on my mind. I love NBA playoffs. I love going home every night or being here every night and being able to watch games and watch all these games.
So that's what you're doing in the back?
Of year. Well,
I'm messing with you.
when I'm not
Watch those games, man.
when I'm not working hard, right? Management around here. When I'm not working hard,
You're watching the game. It's part of your job. You got to watch
it is
the games.
right.
Okay.
That's why I always tell people, look, when you're picking a career, pick something that you would do every day for free anyway, right? I watch sports. I've always watched sports.
Great advice you're
That's how you
getting.
do it,
For
right?
free.
Great advice.
For
That's what I
free.
tell kids on career day.
Oh, how many career days have you gone to?
Several. I love going to them. I love the kids.
So, Brett, do I still have more time to talk about how I feel? Like 30 seconds?
Go for it.
This is a weird shout out tonight, but UGA tennis, the men's team, we talked to them today in Athens.
Yes.
They're in the Sweet 16 this weekend, facing none other than Harvard.
Go Dogs.
I don't think that I've really ever talked about Harvard, like ever. But this is the only stat I want to give. 33-0. That's Georgia's record against Harvard. 33-0. Is it going to be 33-1 come the weekend? Scott, I don't think so.
That would be like the first half score if they played them in football, wouldn't it? 33-0? That'd probably be the score at halftime.
So what I'm going to say is that UGA's men's tennis team is going to go to the Elite Eight. They're hosting this weekend, so I feel good about the fact that they're playing at home in the mecca of college tennis, and that's literally the name of their thing because they've hosted more NCAA tournaments than any other school in the country in the history of tennis.
That's awesome.
So we're going to see the men's team go to the Elite Eight and possibly Final Four.
He's wrapping us up.
Yeah. Brett's saying we got to go. He doesn't want to hear about tennis anymore. Have a great, great, great night, guys.
Later, everybody.